Hello and welcome back to Searching for Service, brought to you by Rotary District 5950 and
the Russell Hampton Company. We want to thank them for sending over some of the swag. They're the #1 printer for Rotary in the country. They can also help you out with any of your printing needs for your business. So thank you to Russell Hampton.
Or your big, not Stanley, but Stanley mugs.
Yeah.
This is a big hot topic, by the way, the Stanleys, but we're not going to go into that. We're gonna go into who our guest is today. We have Leif Hagen, who has been selected as the District Governor Nominee Designee.
Yes.
It's a mouthful. And he is also a part of the Minnesota Pride Rotary Club, but he holds many other titles. And what we're going to do is get to know our guest, Leif, and find out some more of those titles and how he got involved in Rotary. So let's start here. How long have you been a member of Rotary?
17 years.
Dang.
17.
All of a sudden, wow, it's fast. Yep.
But the Minnesota Pride Rotary is
We're in our third year.
Yeah.
But I was in the Egan Noon Rotary Club. This is my 17th year in that club, and twice club president.
Yeah.
So
just couldn't take enough licking the first time. Had to go back.
I mean, the guy who said yes, the other one said, I can't do it. I'm too busy.
yeah. Well, and so what I feel strongly about is in serving a part of Rotary for that amount of years, having held the title of president, not once, but twice, being a part of, having perspectives from other Rotary clubs too. I think it's well-deserved to be selected as the District Governor Nominee Designee.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And for those that don't know, there's kind of this legacy chain within the district governor, as well as most of the leadership group within Rotary. It's kind of what brings continuity, but yet some new vigor every single year. And so this would be your third in line, right? Or fourth in line, actually. Third.
Yeah. Well, my year is 2026, 2027. So we have a district governor, a district governor elect, a district governor nominee, and I'm the guy behind that designee. So it's a 4-person leadership ladder for the district governor.
So new person that's learning the ropes, probably drinking from the fire hose.
It is. It's like info overload, like info dump.
Well, yeah, and the beautiful thing here is that you've got plenty of years to prepare at the same time.
Process start? Is it learning to start?
Yeah,
and then you start
great question.
A plan, or
I think it's just like how all the pieces work, and then the different committees of the Rotary District, and I mean, I think it's just a lot. So I try to be a little bit quiet on all these Zoom meetings, and a couple of times they like take a vote, and I'm like, yes, and like, oh wait, Leif, you can't vote yet. Oh, okay. Not till July 1st. So I'm just kind of a new guy, not official yet to vote, but just show up and try and look good.
Well, and then you get kind of the base of the mountain stuff, right? Like, as they say, everything flows downhill, and they're like, here, Leif, here's all the stuff that we don't quite have time to take on, but
could you help?
Could you just take care of all of it?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
We got to have a pretty good a decent understanding of what's all involved. Having been twice president, co-founder of the Pride Club. So you've worked with these people in these levels. So you probably have a pretty good understanding.
Yeah. And I also got to do the group study exchange program with Rotary. So I was a team leader to Bangalore, India for 4 weeks. So that was a program they don't have anymore, but so a lot of different things in Rotary, into the Rotary International Conventions. So yeah, a lot of cool
Were you
stuff.
at the last one?
No, I wasn't. The last one I went to was in Hamburg, Germany, kind of before COVID. And I've been to the one in Bangkok, and my first one was Birmingham, England. And I got there and they kept talking about Rotary. I'm like, Rotary? What's Rotary? Oh, you mean, Rotary. Oh, okay.
I kind of like Rotary.
Rotary. Yeah, the Rotary meaning is right over here.
Rotary.
Rotarians.
This is an odd question.
That's really cute.
In places that speak different languages, is it still Rotary?
Yeah, I mean,
or Rotary.
Rotary, yeah. I'm not sure how they say it in like Aussie world.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Yeah.
I figured it was,
but it is funny. Like, that's actually a really good question, because is it kind of like a name that is really similar through languages? Like, you'll hear somebody speaking Spanish, and then it'll be like atom, and it just goes across all of them. But Which role has been your favorite so far?
Hard to say. I mean, I've really enjoyed being club president for the Egan Noon Rotary twice, just because those are my peeps, my friends, my buddies, and it was fun to work with them and real comfortable. Then being charter president of the Minnesota Pride Rotary Club had its own challenges, but its own rewards, trying to build up a new club from zero. And now we're at like 41 members. And
congratulations.
most of them are new to Rotary, like 35, 36 are brand new to Rotary. So they're drinking the Rotary Kool-Aid, trying to figure it all out.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. How did you build the organization? Because I mean, one of the cores of this show is membership, and just this show in of itself is we're just trying to reach people in a different way, and obviously the Pride Club is really reaching people in a new way. I mean, you just said most of the membership are new to Rotary completely. Yeah. So maybe talk a little bit about how you develop the membership for that club.
Yep. I think a lot of like social media stuff has been really big. We would go to the annual Pride thing in the summer and have a table there. The Quorum had a, coming out event. And so we had a table there. So it's just kind of getting out there, a lot of social media, Instagram, Facebook. And we just try and be a really welcoming, friendly club. So people come in and they're like, wow, this wasn't what I was expecting. And so we've had a lot of people that just come to the meetings and they like, how do I join this place? Yeah. And so some people have just joined right on the spot, but a lot of really great stuff initially on social media and our website.
Well, I know we talked a little bit off air about Alexa. She was on previously, and we highlighted one of her service opportunities and
membership,
our membership opportunities. I'm sorry. And the core of it was really creating this welcoming environment, and then educating people on, well, it's not just a meeting and you just go and blah, 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 blah. It's there's a meaning behind it. And especially every club is different, and every club has their things that they can really resonate with people on.
Our Minnesota Pride Rotary Club is an LGBTQ plus allies, friends, supporters club, the first in Minnesota, the third in the U.S. But I think our club has focused on helping LGBTQ homeless youth. That's been our mission. And I think a lot of our members have been like excited about that special thing. I mean, every club has their own kind of maybe special focus or whatever, but that's been our thing. And I think a lot of people who are new to our club, they maybe haven't felt like welcome or invited or feel safe being in a normal standard Rotary Club. So, but our club is kind of little more huggy feely, and we meet in the evenings. We don't have a breakfast or lunch. It's 5:30 in the evening at Wise Acres Eatery in South Minneapolis.
Oh, nice.
5:30 to 6 is appetizers and a cash bar. And
look at that.
Yeah, well, it's this really fun, different vibe, and it's an LGBTQ owned restaurant. And
yummy bacon.
Yeah, they have really good appetizers, and they are always different.
Hold on a second. I got to know when is it that you guys meet? I might just.
It's always the second.
Ask my husband to take care of the kids while I come.
Second and the fourth Wednesdays of every month, except for November and December with holidays. Ooh. But everybody's welcome. We're a fun group, good appetizers. Did I say cash bar? Oh, yeah, I did mention cash bar. And instead of doing like a thought for the day or an invocation or whatever, like some other more traditional clubs do, we do a toast to Rotary, which is kind of giving a special meaning or something, message. But it's a little more lighthearted, different way of doing things. So we've kind of had to change things up a little bit so it's not the standard Rotary Club.
Did you start with doing it in the evenings, or
it's always been in the evenings? Yep. On Wednesdays, we changed locations though. Initially, we met at the Hilton Hotel off France Avenue in Bloomington, and it was too expensive, too corporate feeling, and it didn't have any windows. And so we went to the Wise Acre for our first social event, and I'm like, wow, this is it. This is where we should be. And so,
how many people can that place hold?
Well, our biggest attendance was when we had former weatherman, or maybe still called a weatherman, Sven Sundsgaard come, and we had probably 35 people in that space. So it was like shoulder to shoulder. It was like a full room.
Yeah.
So 35.
You had a celebrity.
Yeah, it was like pretty full space. And I think our meetings tend to be like 20-ish, 21, 22-ish.
Makes sense for
It's
the
pretty
size of
comfortable.
the,
Yeah.
makes total sense.
You guys are growing. What's the plan?
Yeah.
Because I
Well,
remember it's one of the bigger growth.
Yeah, we've had a lot of growth. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to leave the Wise Acre Eatery because it's a great location. Parking is pretty easy. Joy, who is over there every time, takes great care of us. They have great food, and yeah, so I don't know. We might have to move if we get too big, but
it's a good problem to have.
It would be a good problem to have.
Yeah.
We're not quite there yet, but maybe if we have, a bunch of celebrities keep coming, like the Kirks, if the Kirks come, we might have 50 people there. I don't know where they're
flattered.
Yes, standing room only. And now the Kirks
will get you everywhere.
And Chet too. I don't mean to leave out Chet. He's a celebrity too here. AM 950.
See, I get to benefit so much from Kelly. It's not even funny because really it's Kelly, and then bring Joe.
Oh my God, not even true.
Kelly, and Joe.
If you want to check out the club, obviously they can go to the meetings, but how else can they find?
The best way is to go to our Facebook page. We're also on Instagram. Those are probably the best places to find out the upcoming speakers, the upcoming meetings. But again, the meetings are always the second and the fourth Wednesday of every month. But that's probably the best way is on our social media.
Can we wrap up one more thing on the Pride group? Because you mentioned that you guys focus a lot on the homelessness. Talk a little bit more about that, because that kind of intrigued me when you.
So we have some members who work for some NGOs in the Twin Cities who really help and work with homeless LGBTQ youth. And so those NGO members have really been the way we've been able to have like service projects, food or winter clothing drives or different things like that. And they know the issue, they know the resources, they know the way to do it. And so they've been really good club members for helping with that mission of helping homeless LGBTQ youth in the Twin Cities.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Are you going to be at Pride this year?
Of course. Yeah, we'll be there.
Maybe we'll have to do
with
a
our
show.
Banner and brochures, and
we have the station always has a booth, and we'll have I think a double booth this year, so maybe we can do a show with you that day.
Yeah, perfect.
I love it.
Holy moly!
Holy moly!
Planning ahead. That's plenty of time for us.
I know we'll have some live shows on Saturday, so put the same stuff on Sunday.
Yeah, cool.
There you go.
Do it up.
Yeah, it's a fun event.
It is written.
Want to go back a little bit to being the nominee. How did you get to? Do you put your name in the hat for that, or the nominee designated?
Designee.
Right.
Get yourself in the line.
Yeah,
of
how did you get into
district
that
governor
line, and how does that work?
Actually, I applied for district governor once before, and they asked somebody else to be the district governor. So this was my second try at being district governor, and it's a formal application with kind of your Rotary resume. And but I think a lot of the people on the interview, well, I know the people on the interview committee, most of them except for a couple of people, and they had my application beforehand, so they knew who I was. And I think a couple of people probably maybe put in a little good word for me, I don't know. But anyway, after the interview, they called me up and said, Leif, you're the guy. So
you generally have had to been I assume a club president.
You have to be a club president. And I think, if you've been a foundation giver and you've been active in your club and done things in the district, I mean, those are all things that they're kind of looking for. And someone who knows how to talk and isn't an introvert. They got to be outgoing and work the room. And
because you got to go to every club.
Yeah.
Try to
all
get
the
to
clubs
every club.
And the district events, and also service-minded and all that. Yeah.
A lot of Zooms too, I presume.
Yeah, you got to be good at Zooms. I'm like, wow, my calendar is really full of Zoom. But
what was it like before COVID? With all the when you were president, you had to be at those. Were they always in person, and did everybody drive to them, or were they using?
Actually, I was finishing my second go around as club president for the Eagan Rotary Club during COVID, so I was leading the Eagan Rotary lunch meetings from my office on Zoom. I had a Rotary bell; I'd ring the bell, all on Zoom, and then after we finished that July 1st, then we started the new year. I mean, I finished June 30th with the Eagan Rotary Club and July 1st with the Minnesota Pride Rotary Club. We started, but we weren't on Zoom. We were far enough past all that we were meeting in person, and we didn't do Zoom meetings. We were live in person at the Bloomington Hilton.
Yeah, it's an interesting conundrum for clubs for sure, with the Zoom, the hybrid, the in person, and I mean, if
we did do hybrid in the first weeks of our first meetings of our Minnesota Pride Rotary Club. And
like
that was a little bit of
splits everybody's attention.
Yeah, it was a little juggle, and we just kind of got to the point where not enough people are really Zooming for us to keep doing this. And I don't know. And our thing is, when you come to our club meeting, we're all kind of there. You get the vibe, the feel, and
there's definitely something to be said about the in person.
For sure.
Yeah, and we just described exactly what's happening in every corporation's C-suite meetings. They're like, how do we do kind of in the office and kind of not? Like, it's just hard. Like, because it is a different vibe. I mean, I give it up for the clubs that can do the full Zoom. Like, the Global Travelers, I believe they're full Zoom.
They have people from around the world.
That makes sense.
They have to. They have members from around the world.
But,
Yeah, I think it makes sense for some, but in person, I mean, for me, I enjoy seeing everyone.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't think I would have lasted if it was strictly Zoom. That was the only.
It's different. It's totally different.
Yeah.
It's funny, like, thinking back to COVID and going, man, I would do like 15 Zoom calls a day.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I did that. It was exciting at first, wasn't it? Like, when we first started to do it, it was like,
it's just different. Yeah.
Then you'd have the Zoom happy hours, right, Kelly?
Oh yeah. One right after another. You're like, what am I doing right now? This is crazy. I'm drinking wine and Zooming.
Well, and you didn't have to worry about driving. You can have one more.
Yeah,
right.
So true.
Oh, wow.
That's where people got into trouble, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't have to drive, whatever.
What has been your favorite service project you've either been a part of? Maybe it was a trip that you worked on, but do you have one or a couple that really
I think
had impact on you?
Kind of towards that question, my biggest thing for me that really left a lasting impression and lifelong friends, and really a big aha, now I know how big Rotary is when I was a Rotary group study exchange team leader to Bangalore, India for 4 weeks. And we went to India, and those Rotarians in India are passionate Rotarians. And when you think about the needs and the projects to do in India, it was like, wow. And I still have friends from Bangalore, India, and around there, and I would see them at the international conventions. And even the past Rotary District Governor came and visited us here in Eagan once. So, it makes the world small. And just seeing those projects, seeing the work of the Rotarians in India in particular was pretty impressive.
I bet it was pretty interesting seeing, what we go to Haiti or somewhere else to experience the true nature of it. They can go 30 miles and it's
or less.
Yeah. And it's right there. There's got to be something to that, to your point of the immediacy and the urgency, and like right at home.
Quicker impact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Makes you grateful for what you got.
Yeah. We are blessed. We are truly lucky. Our first world problems are tiny.
I always say that. I'm like, it's a first world problem. Seriously.
Yeah. So I guess probably India is how I would answer that question about service project.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Was there any project that you guys did while you were there that you participated in, or were you more kind of interacting with?
Well, we visited. We stayed with 7 Rotary Club families. Each participant stayed with a different family. We went to a lot of Rotary Club meetings there. We went to their district conference there, so that was really cool. And we saw a lot of their service projects, from well digging to clean water projects to a lot of different things in India. But it just really opens your mind to how big Rotary is and the connectedness and all the work there is to do with service and Rotary.
Yeah, we talk a lot about how it's really cool how Rotary plays so well internationally, and it's because we have a core set of values. We all seem to kind of align on, service is a good thing.
Yep. 4-way test, all the
4-way tests.
Everybody around the world knows that.
Yep.
And the secret Rotary handshake, we all know that.
Right,
Kelly? Wait, what? I thought you knew
share.
That. Don't they do that in your Rotary Club?
No.
We haven't been there long enough.
Yeah.
You were there a while before you learned the secret handshake.
I'm like, I've only been to the cigar bar, but
we don't have that in Eagan. Okay.
What are you hoping? So you've got another, let's see, what are we, 5-6 months until you're into the next role, correct?
Yeah. So July 1st is the beginning of the new Rotary year. Yep. So then I'll become district governor nominee. So then I'm just kind of 2 years away from being district governor. Just a little funny tidbit from this morning. I was like on my phone and I got a message from Vishnu in Kathmandu, Nepal. One of my friends on Facebook. He's a Rotarian there, and he is the group selfie king of Nepal. But he was just chosen as the district governor nominee designee. So we'll be in the same class as district governors. So it's been fun to have a little back and forth. I sent him a big congratulations. And it's like this last week, Sharon Bloodworth came back from Orlando from where all the district governors have their training, 500 district governors from around the world. And she was talking about that. And I was just imagining, meeting my classmates at that thing. It'll be pretty big, pretty powerful.
Yeah, because how many is it?
5
or 5? Is it
530 or something?
Yeah,
it's over 500 different governors from the district, districts around the world.
Wow,
that's so cool. So as you're coming into this next year, what's the progression, right? Like, so you're in your role now,
which is learning,
which is taking it. It sounds like that you're observing a lot, kind of taking in that. How great is that, by the way, that you don't actually have to go and
do it right away. It's not
problems immediately.
It's a big job, lots of responsibility. It's kind of like the training we get in the clubs, from being like club secretary to club president-elect, being club president to being past club president. It's a leadership ladder. Rotary is great at kind of leadership training. I guess it's just kind of getting more and more involved. I'm on the foundation committee, and just a bunch of things. So, and a lot of Zooms. So it's just, learning a lot of stuff, how it works.
Have you thought about what you want as your initiatives for when you're district governor?
I haven't gotten that far yet. I think that's a little further.
Give him a break, Joe. Jeez.
Jeez, is this guy a type A personality? No, I haven't yet, but I'm thinking that's part of the ongoing as we build and get closer to it. And already Sharon Bloodworth is talking about what her goals are and things for her year, which starts July 1st. And of course, she has an advantage because she has a British accent, so it gives her an unfair advantage.
It is.
It's always British.
And does she say Rotary?
You got the coat, though.
Yeah, I guess
you got the coat.
She may be, yeah.
Did you see that tie in there? That was nice.
That was nice, yeah. A plug for Sharon, district governor-elect.
Well, that'll be fun. I mean, so how nice is that you get 3 years to really think about what's meaningful for you, and then you get to kind of see, okay, great, this district governor really focused on A. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, now there's an opportunity to focus on B or C. Oh, the new district governor focused on B. Okay, C, like you can kind of begin to shape your message as the people ahead of you are rolling out their priorities. And then you kind of morph that, and then it'll be kind of fun to kind of hear what we'll have you on as you keep going. How's that sound?
Like, get up the ladder, climb up the ladder.
Okay, what did you learn this year?
Talk to me a year from now. I'll sound a little smarter, maybe.
But what's really cool about this show is that we're finding is it's such an educational platform, and doing something like that where we have Leif on for 3 straight years.
Leif. Safe with Leif. I said that. Yeah. I said that at my Rotary Club meetings for Egan. Oftentimes when I started the
meeting, I'm saying Leif in my head.
Yeah. Welcome to Egan Rotary. I'm Leif, safe with Leif, and standing, anyway. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But having Leif on for 3 years, and you hear kind of this progression.
Yeah.
And people that are listening to the show can go, I'm thinking about going into the district governor whole process. What can I expect? And now you can point them to the 3, 4, 5 episodes that we have you on, and
some things to consider.
Well, I think something else to be said in this is pointing out to individuals who are listening right now and may not be Rotarians, considering becoming a Rotarian, and they're going, oh, well, this is kind of cool to see that there is truly this massive amount of leadership that is in place for Rotary, and that when you have these leadership roles, you're not just thrown to the wolves.
No,
the
there's
lions, or whatever you want to
ladder
call.
training. I mean, Rotary is good at leadership training, I would say.
Well, and it's interesting too. Like, you look at Rotary from outside. If you don't know the workings, you see a new president every year, a new leadership every year. How can that even be sustainable? I mean, we've even talked about some of the challenges with the leadership rolling over every single year when it comes with like longer term projects or longer, like, you know, like this show. We would love to see this show forever. And, you know, as district governors come in, maybe their priorities are different. I mean, that's no fault to them. I mean, it doesn't, their things are their things.
And they want to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Leave a mark.
But the challenge of that rollover, but there is actually a system in place where there's a lot more consistency than we think.
And can be some continuity.
Yeah. I mean, that's even something I've learned that, you know, as we've been on this show.
Well, even if you're district governor, it's a team sport. I mean, when you think about all the different committees, you think about the other leadership people coming behind you, it's definitely a team sport, like in a Rotary Club.
Oh, we're not going to rename Rotary to Leif.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right.
Maybe
couple more rungs up.
Maybe my slogan that year as district governor will be "Safe with Leif."
Fair enough.
So, Leif, I'm curious. We've talked about a lot of your successes, and I think what we can do is kind of do this like the proverbial sandwich, right? We'll talk about some of your successes, but I want to hear about your challenges, and then we can wrap that sandwich up with some fun other successes that you've had. What are some challenges that you have faced being in Rotary, your involvement that you're seeing as you're moving up that proverbial ladder?
Yeah, I think maybe the most challenging thing in my Rotary time or Rotary career was starting a new club as a charter president, because it's kind of like starting from zero and just getting the word out. And then, you know, with new leadership in a Rotary club, kind of helping them learn how to be leaders and be on a board and do all those things. So it was a lot of work. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. And sometimes we stubbed our toes, but we had, you know, a great 2-year kickoff as the charter for our club. So maybe that was the most challenging part of my Rotary time. But I'm really excited about where we are. I mean, we have, like I said, 41 new members now. So
how long did it take to launch a club from we want to do this to the first meeting?
Well, so Tom Gum, Jody Kern, Joe Swalve, and I had lunch together, and we talked about it. And Tom kind of presented the idea, and then there was a lot of lead up details and a lot of things we had to get in place. And then we had a kickoff event at the Hilton Hotel in Bloomington on August 24th. That was when we started, just after the Rotary year had started. And then, you know, it's getting the word out, and my partner, who's in the Minnesota Pride Rotary Club, he did a lot of work on the social media, and also he built a huge email list so we could blast out information about our club and get our stuff out there. So it was a lot of details. It was a lot of work.
Yeah,
but
get some people to help you.
Yeah,
it's
a team sport.
Well, I always kind of break it out like starting a club with Tom or without Tom. Like, he was
our
shot.
I said to myself, Leif, of course Tom Gupp was involved in that.
What was his role?
He was our club advisor. So, you know, getting started, he came for our kickoff event, and he and Catherine both have been to our club to visit, and past District Governor Lloyd came a couple times to our club. So they showed a lot of interest in our new club, and
they help you with the, I don't know, paperwork's the right or the
kind of
the
charter details and all that. Yeah, yep, they did.
Because you always hear, whether it's projects or I've heard this, you want to do something, we can do it.
Yeah.
Rotary. You want to start a unique club, you can do it. But you know, I'm like, wow, that sounds
like a lot.
Just a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, Rotary International and the Rotary District, I mean, they're all talking about these cause-based clubs. The need for us to have new clubs, create new clubs. That's how we're going to get new members. I mean, it's always about getting new members, but also retaining members.
Yep.
And then how do you build a new club to get people who maybe are brand new to Rotary? So these cause-based clubs like the Minnesota Pride Rotary Club is a great example of that, along with the Minnesota Veterans Club and other clubs as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel, so this is an interesting question. So the success.
Say so yourself.
Yeah. No,
I know.
Hold on. Wait. No, because like, it's
That's
interesting.
the same thing, Chad.
Your club was able to capitalize on what we could say is a weakness of Rotary, and that's being perceived as inclusive.
Yeah.
And so why don't you provide some guidance for clubs today? Well, first of all, success, right? Like we'll take them.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
great. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for building our club. And like, what type of advice can we give to clubs that you've heard from your membership and from the people that have joined your club, as far as like not feeling part of something else or
first time?
Yeah. Because every club has got to be doing this exercise of like, how do we?
Yeah, I think for what really worked well for our club, I think is it was a little more non-traditional. It wasn't breakfast or lunch, but rather in the evenings, number one. Number two, we only meet twice a month. So it's not every week. So it doesn't feel maybe as much of a commitment. And I think our club is more huggy and kind of welcoming. And as charter president, I always tried to meet as many of the people who came as guests, make them feel welcome. We did things a little differently. We did the Toast to Rotary. One thing, a lot of clubs do is the Pledge of Allegiance, but we stopped doing that because there were some people who just didn't really feel comfortable about that. So we kind of changed the way we do things a little bit, and some people will understand that. Some people won't like that, but we had to kind of pivot a little bit along the way to make everybody feel welcome. And I don't know. I think people just really feel like it's a family or a chosen family is, I think, what we say in our club. We're a chosen family.
Nice. That's what we say too.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, because people don't really feel welcome in some clubs. And maybe a funny story. I went to a Rotary Club, a big Rotary Club in our district, along with Joe, and we made the announcement that we were chartering this new Minnesota Pride Rotary Club. And one of their members after the meeting kind of pulled us aside and said, hey, thanks for telling us about our club, but, why don't you just all join local Rotary clubs? Why do you need your own special clubs? Couldn't you just tell us about your lifestyle and join a local club? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Especially with, even being a younger member, there's a very big perception out there of what Rotary is.
Yeah, and who the members are.
Yeah, and some of it, there's some accuracy to it, but a lot of it is, we have a lot of younger members, we have diverse, it's not what I thought when I joined. I had the same misconception that it was old white men in the room and that, that type of thing. It's much different than I had. So absolutely you should have a unique club that fits and connects with people on a different. I think that's the future of Rotary. Personally.
Another thing that's really great about our club is that we have some younger members. Our youngest member is like 23.
Wow.
Now, I do have to put a footnote in that her dad is a past club president, so she's kind of grown up with Rotary. But I mean, she fits into the LGBTQ community, and she really feels like this is my place. I feel comfortable. I feel this is my chosen family. I feel welcome, and she loves our club.
Well, one thing that I'll take away from that too is, one of my favorite things about Rotary is diffusion, right? Like you've kind of got these core principles of Rotary International, and then they diffuse all the way down to the club level. And to see a club say, this works for us, this doesn't work for us, and then collective buy-in around that. Because let's be honest, who cares if any other club? That's why your members are part of that club. Yeah. I mean, we've got disagreements with the Noon Club.
Right. Noon.
It's just
versus
different.
Breakfast. Yeah,
right?
It's a little different.
And you go, as long as there's collective buy-in and everybody is still going 4-way test, service above self, onward.
Good for the community.
Good for the community. Because
you've got the structure there, right? It's the borders and boundaries that kind of keep us moving ahead, and that's the 4-way test.
Yeah.
Well, I think the one thing with change is we tend to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and it's like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever we forget about the end game, and that's serving our communities, serving our people, creating fellowship, creating family. I loved hearing you say creating that it felt like a family.
Yeah, chosen family.
And that's what service organizations like Rotary and others are all about. So, I mean, a good check for all of us is, are we serving our community? Are we actually going back to our core principles? Yeah. Or is this something that's just uncomfortable for me or has been historically uncomfortable for this club? I mean, these are really great questions for every club to be asking themselves as we're moving forward and as we're dealing with this conundrum of membership, because it's difficult. Like
getting new members and keeping members. Those are the two big problems all over the world for Rotary. It's a big thing. One thing I would say, though, as a business owner guy, oh, by the way, all this stuff is great, but there is also a chance for some business. And I've been in the Eagan Rotary Club, and I don't like pass out my business cards at the meetings by any chance. But, you know, you get to have lunch with these people every week. You do service projects, you do the fundraiser. And then, oh, by the way, they'll come to you and say, oh, well, Leif, I changed my job and I need help with a 401k rollover. Or another one will say, I need Medicare insurance. And they happen to do business with me. And so there's a business component. We're not out there marketing or pushing for a business, but you work together, you become friends, you have lunch or breakfast together.
No like and trust.
You do service projects together. So that's another thing that, you know, people who aren't in Rotary yet, you know, that's part of the thing too.
I've always thought that we've needed to add the know, like, and trust and buy-in. I've always thought buy-in is the key component and that's what Rotary really fosters. In my opinion, in my experience, is you really have to buy in. Otherwise, it doesn't serve you, because it just doesn't. It doesn't serve you, and you aren't able to serve your community the way that you want to. Right. And you just have to understand. I mean, and this kind of goes back to why Rotary plays so well internationally, is there is a collective buy-in, and we all speak a very similar language, and that's so powerful. It's so powerful, and that's why we can get things done.
I gotta ask you, we breezed over it. You're on the foundation committee. Can you tell us more about the foundation? You know, because it's something, at least at our club, we talk about, but it's, I think they've addressed that it needs to be talked about and understood a little bit more.
Well, the district has its own foundation, and it's really important for clubs that don't have their own club foundation. Like the Minnesota Pride Rotary Club doesn't have its own foundation. So we do an annual drag queen brunch fundraiser, get corporate sponsorships and make money. But if someone's going to give us a corporate sponsorship, since we don't have a foundation, then we use the District 5950 Foundation, and they kind of help us through that. So there's a foundation through the district to help clubs without their own district. And so we've talked about, you know, how that works and how we can fine tune some things and make it easier for clubs. And so,
will you create your own foundation with
that's our goal? That's our goal. But it's more work and time and money to create a foundation. Then you have to have your own kind of set of foundation officers. So, I mean, there's a lot to it. It's a great goal, but there's a lot to it.
Are you losing anything in terms on the club level, just utilizing the district's foundation? Is
maybe a little controller flexibility? You have to kind of fill out a form and, you know, send it in to get the money. Versus if it's your own foundation, you just go to the foundation chair and bring out the foundation checkbook and write a check, and bada bing.
So just a little bit more logistics.
Time, flexibility, little control. But
when is the drag brunch fundraiser?
Well, this is going to be our third annual drag queen brunch fundraiser. I like to say it's not your annual spaghetti dinner fundraiser. It's coming up on April 20th in Minneapolis at the theater. It's South Minneapolis. I want to say Grinnell, but it's not Grinnell.
Granada.
Thank you. Granada Theater.
Uptown.
Uptown on like April 21st. I think that's a Sunday morning.
We'll confirm it. We'll put it on the show page.
Yeah.
But it is a Sunday because my birthday is the 20th, and that's a Saturday.
All right. Well, then for sure, it's Sunday the 21st, third annual. Bring your friends and
420, huh?
Oh my gosh.
We'll have to mention that as we get closer, though. I'll make a note to promote it on air.
Yeah. And we had a lot of Rotarians there last year, and I think they all had a lot of fun. And some people hadn't been to a drag queen brunch show before. They're like, wait, how's this working? Oh, and it's at Rotary.
Yeah.
Even the district governor showed up.
Well then, Lloyd was there.
There, yeah.
Lloyd was there. Wow. Good job, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Julie, you got some shoes to fill.
Now we'll have to get on her calendar. Yeah. Maybe she can run around with a boa on or something. Work the crowd. Yeah.
Well, we're getting towards the end here. Any parting thoughts or things you would want to leave with the listeners, or,
the biggest thing I want to say is let's make sure Rotary isn't the best kept secret.
Right.
I've said that before over my years as being a Rotarian. I feel like Rotary is the best kept secret. And I'm just astounded when I go somewhere and I say, oh, yeah, I'm in Rotary. And someone says, Rotary? What's Rotary? I'm like, you don't know what Rotary is? So we need to get the word out. We need to tell our friends, our colleagues, our workers, our uncles, our nieces what Rotary is, and get the word out there. Because when you have to explain what Rotary is, or they've never heard of it before, and it's not a phone, it's not a Rotary phone.
I'm going to start going Rotary.
Rotary. Yes.
Rotary.
Rotary.
Wasn't it Rotary?
Rotary. When we have Sharon as our district governor, it's going to be brilliant and smashing and really extraordinary.
She was wonderful at the
bet
district
she was.
conference.
She's a delight.
Because she's in. Is she in marketing?
She's also a financial advisor.
Or she's an advisor. Okay,
Yeah.
But it just her personality is just fantastic.
Yes. Well, I'd like to say she has an unfair advantage. She has a British accent.
That is an unfair advantage. I'll give it to you for sure. Well, Leif, we just want to thank you for taking time to come into the studio and hang out with these lovely gentlemen. And it's been an honor getting to know you a little bit better and all that you've done to serve Rotary. So thank you very much. And thank you to our listeners. I'm Kelly.
One last thing. Kelly, one last thing. And when does our Minnesota Pride Rotary Club meet? It's when?
The second and fourth Wednesdays.
Yes. Second and fourth Wednesday at where? 5:30.
Wise Acre.
Oh, Wise Acre.
Eatery.
I was like something acre.
Yeah, Wise Acre Eatery around the corner from the Russian Art Museum.
Yep.
Be
Thank you.
Be square.
We will be sure to add that into the show notes as well.
Yep, I'll make sure to include
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
All right,
Thank
Kelly,
you.
take us out of
Thank
here.
you, Leif. Thank you to our listeners. I'm Kelly Kirk.
I'm Joe Kirk.
And I'm Chad Larson. We'll be back.
Bye.